Hello everybody again. This video is about picking up with Ezekiel, pick up chapters 25, 6, and 7, which won't take as long, not quite a page and a half. Again, the Lord speaking to Ezekiel. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, set your face against the Ammonites, and prophecy against them. So each one is the Lord telling him to prophecy, speak against to specific peoples about what God is. It's a message to each specific peoples from God. This time it's the Ammonites. Prophecy against them. Say to them, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Because you said, aha, over my sanctuary when it was desecrated, and over the land of Israel when it was laid waste, and over the people of Judah when they went into exile, therefore I am going to give you to the people of the east as possession. In other words, they really didn't come to their aid. You know, all those peoples were descended from Noah. They were all related far enough back. Certainly not as far back as we are now. So they should have been helping each other, not hating each other. Because of this behavior, he's going to give them over to people of the east as a possession. They will set up their camps and pitch their tents among you. They will eat your fruit and drink your milk. I will return Rabbah into a pasture for camels, and Ammon into a resting place for sheep. Then you will know that I am the Lord. For this is what the sovereign Lord says. Because you have clapped your hands and stamped your feet, rejoicing with all the malice of your heart against the land of Israel, and was not helping their neighbor, coming to their defense, clapping to see their downfall. Keep that in mind for other nations, and other nations keep in mind regarding us. Things go on now and in the future. Careful what they do. But because they had done this, therefore I will stretch out my hand against you and give you as plunder to the nations. I will wipe you out from among the nations and exterminate you from the countries. I will destroy you, and you will know that I am the Lord. All nations are going to fall one by one. That's coming. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Because Moab and Seir said, look, Judah has become like all the other nations. Therefore I will expose the rank and the flank of Moab, beginning at its frontier towns, Beth Jeshimoth, Baal-meon, and Kiriathaim, the glory of that land. I will give Moab along with the Ammonites to the people of the east as possession. So it's Moabites and Ammonites, taking their land away from them, in addition to Israel, Judah. Then they will know that I am the Lord. The Ammonites will not be remembered among the nations, and I will inflict punishment on them. This is what the sovereign Lord says, because Edom took revenge on Judah, became very guilty by doing so. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will stretch out my hand against Edom and kill both man and beast. I will lay it waste, and from Teman to Dedan they will fall by the sword. I will take vengeance on Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they will deal with Edom in accordance with my... I will take vengeance on Edom by the hand of my people Israel. So Israel, who is taken away, punishing, he's going to have them deal with Edom at some point. In accordance with his anger and his wrath, they will know my vengeance, declares the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says, because the Philistines acted in vengeance and took revenge with malice in their hearts, and with ancient hostility sought to destroy Judah. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I am about to stretch out my hand against the Philistines, and I will wipe out the Kerethites and destroy those remaining along the coast. I will carry out great vengeance on them and punish them with my wrath. Then they will know that I am the Lord when I take vengeance on them. So all these countries, peoples that turned against or turned their backs to Israel, Judah, who he was punishing, he will punish them as well. So, interesting to see if Trump wins again. This country's turning away from us. More and more start to turn to China. They turn their backs on us. It's going to play out a similar situation here in the future. We'll see. Chapter 26. In the 11th month of the 12th year, on the first day of the month, the word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, because Tyre has said of Jerusalem, aha, another one that's turned her back, the gate to the nations is broken, and its doors have swung open to me. Now that she lies in ruins, I will prosper. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I am against you, Tyre, and I will bring many nations against you, like the sea casting up its waves. They will destroy the walls of Tyre and pull down her towers. I will scrape away her rubble and make her a bare rock. Out in the sea she will become a place to spread fish nets, for I have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord. She will become plunder for the nations, and the settlements on the mainland will be ravaged by the sword. Then they will know that I am the Lord. But this is what the sovereign Lord says. From the north I am going to bring against Tyre Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, king of kings, with horses and chariots, with horsemen and a great army. He will ravage your settlements on the mainland with the sword. He will set up siege works against you, build a ramp up to your walls, and raise his shields against you. He will direct the blows of his battering rams against your walls, and demolish your towers with his weapons. His horses will be so many that they will cover you with dust. Your walls will tremble at the noise of the war horses, wagons, and chariots. When he enters your gates, his men enter a city whose walls have been broken through. The hoofs of his horses will trample all your streets. He will kill your people with the sword, and your strong pillars will fall to the ground. They will plunder your wealth and loot your merchandise. They will break down your walls and demolish your fine houses, and throw your stones, timber, and rubble into the sea. I will put an end to your noisy songs, and the music of your harps will be heard no more. I will make you a bare rock, and you will become a place to spread fish nets. You will never be rebuilt, for I, the Lord, have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to Tyre. Will not the coastlands tremble at the sound of your fall, when the wounded groan and the slaughter takes place in you? Then all the princes of the coast will step down from their thrones and lay aside their robes, and take off their embroidered garments. Clothed with terror, they will sit on the ground, trembling every moment, appalled at you. Then they will take up a lament concerning you, and say to you, how you are destroyed, city of renown, peopled by men of the sea. You were power on the seas, you and your citizens. You put your terror on all who live there. Now the coastlands tremble on the day of your fall. The islands of the sea are terrified by your collapse. So Tyre was destroyed. It said never to be rebuilt, but it was, but not where exactly it was. This is what the sovereign Lord says. When I make you a desolate city, like cities no longer inhabited, when I bring the ocean depths over you and its vast waters cover you, then I will bring you down with those who go down to the pit, the people of long ago. I will make you dwell in the earth below as in ancient ruins, with those who go down to the pit, and you will not return or take your place in the land of living. I will bring you to a horrible end, and you will be no more. You will be sought, but you will never again be found, declares the sovereign Lord. And they haven't been, so the peoples that are down in the pit still. So many have been let loose from there, either servants serving darkness or to roam the land as well. I mean, there's so much we don't know. I mean, everything I share with you is just a lot. It's just so minute and minuscule of what is out there, what is God, what's going on. I share things as I've given discernment of them. I share things that are given to me to share, my experiences, which is so very little, in the overall scheme of things. Chapter 27, the word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, take up a lament concerning Tyre. Say to Tyre, I'm sorry, it's over 2 pages, my bad. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, take up a lament concerning Tyre. Say to Tyre, situated at the gateway to the sea, merchant of peoples on many coasts. This is what the sovereign Lord says. You say, Tyre, I am perfect in beauty. Your domain was on the high seas. Your builders brought your beauty to perfection. They made all your timbers of juniper from Senir. They took a cedar from Lebanon to make a mast for you. Of oaks from Bashan they made your oars. Of cypress wood from the coasts of Cyprus they made your deck adorned with ivory. Fine embroidered linen from Egypt was your sail and served as your banner. Your awnings were of blue and purple from the coasts of Elisha. Men of Sidon and Arvad were your oarsmen. Your skilled men, Tyre, were aboard as your sailors. Veteran craftsmen of Byblos were on board as shipwrights to caulk your seams. All the ships of the sea and their sailors came alongside to trade for your wares. Men of Persia, Lydia, and Put served as soldiers in your army. They hung their shields and helmets on your walls, bringing you splendor. Men of Arvad and Helek guarded your walls on every side. Men of Gamad were in your towers. They hung their shields on your walls. They brought your beauty to perfection. Tarshish did business with you because of your great wealth of goods. They exchanged silver, iron, tin, and lead for your merchandise. Greece, Tubal, and Meshech did business with you. They traded human beings and articles of bronze for your wares. Again, human beings traded slaves. Slaves have existed, and it's up in arms about slavery in this country. Slavery has been around since the beginning of mankind. Nothing new. Still goes on. Men of Beth Togarmah exchanged chariot horses, cavalry horses, and mules for your merchandise. Men of Rhodes traded with you in many coastlands where your customers. They paid you with ivory tusks and ebony. Aram did business with you because of your money products. They exchanged turquoise, purple fabric, embroidered work, fine linen, coral, rubies for your merchandise. Judah and Israel traded with you. They exchanged wheat from Minnith and confections, honey, olive oil, and balm for your wares. Damascus did business with you because of your many products and great wealth of goods. They offered wine from Helbon, wood from Zahar, and cask of wine from Izal in exchange for your wares, which were wrought iron, cassia, and calamus. Dedan traded in saddle blankets with you. Arabia and all the princes of Kedar were your customers. They did business with you in lambs, rams, and goats. Merchants of Sheba and Ramah traded with you. For your merchandise they exchanged the finest of all kinds of spices and precious stones and gold. Haran, Canaan, and Eden, the merchants of Sheba, Ashur, Kilmad traded with you. In your marketplace they traded with you beautiful garments, blue fabric, embroidered work, multicolored rugs with cords twisted and tightly knotted. So all these different lands have their specialties and what they, just like today, and what they traded. The ships of Tarshish serve as carriers for your wares. You are filled with heavy cargo as you sail the sea. The oarsmen take you out to the high seas, but the east wind will break you to pieces far out at sea. Your wealth, merchandise, and wares, your mariners, sailors, shipwrights, your merchants, and all your soldiers, and everyone else on board will sink into the heart of the sea on the day of your shipwreck. Shorelands will quake when your sailors cry out. All who handle the oars will abandon their ships. The mariners and all the sailors will stand on the shore. They will raise their voices and cry bitterly over you. They will sprinkle dust on their heads and roll in ashes. They will shave their heads because of you and will put on sackcloth. They will weep over you with anguish of soul and with bitter mourning. As they wail and mourn over you, they will take up a lament concerning you. Who was ever silenced like Tyre, surrounded by the sea? When your merchandise, I remember having a vision, being in the water at night, seeing this stone city on flames. So I'm wondering if it was that life, that time. I don't know. When your merchandise went out on the seas, you satisfied many nations. With your great wealth and your wares, you enriched the kings of the earth. Now you are shattered by the sea and the depths of the waters. Your wares and all your company have gone down with you. All who live in the coastlands are appalled at you. The kings shudder with horror, and their faces are distorted with fear. The merchants among the nations scoff at you. You have come to a horrible end, will be no more. So Tyre really, really suffered. They came back in a different place, location, named it the same name. It's the Lord, Lord Jesus Christ, Word of God. But certainly nothing what they were before. That version of Tyre. Tyre, Tyre, either way, I guess is correct. So again, this back then ties into what's happening and going to happen today, in the future, sooner than you think. So focus on Him as always. Focus on Him. Continue to read all these things and ask for discernment. Ezekiel's a lot about, so far, certainly, about the Lord disciplining and destroying various nations and peoples back then for their behavior, and turning away from Him. So even though He's punishing Israel and Judah, that's His to do. Those other ones chose not to aid them or stand there or mock them or laugh at them. Punish them too, much worse. Israel, Judah went into captivity. These other ones He destroyed. So it'll be interesting again to see what happens, how things play out in this country after this election, how things play out, and certainly in other countries as we continue on in Revelations. So be thankful every day for what you have. Be safe. Communicate with God. Have that relationship with God. Now is as great a time as any because you're not as busy as you normally are. You're not working, or you're working less. You're quarantined. No excuse not to spend time with Him. First and foremost. Peace of Christ. God bless.